Hi guys, this is my review for WandaVision episode 3 now in colour. Now the first two episodes were dropped last week, while the critics got the first three. And you know what? We probably should have got the first three as well, because it would have made the impact for this show a lot more. Now episode 3 for me, especially the last 10 minutes, is very intriguing, very edgy, and sets up the rest of the season really nice. And I can't wait to see all these theories, all these conspiracy theories, everything come to light and see exactly what is going on. But basically, episode 3, as the title would say, now in colour, it's in colour. The aspect ratio is still the 3:4, so it highlights that we're probably in the 1970s sitcom now. And I did say this, that I think we'll go through each decade of sitcoms that we've ever seen in real life. The characters will stay the same, but their surroundings, their houses, their clothes, the way they talk will be a little bit different and adapt to the era that they're playing the characters in. So that's interesting. So that's been proven right by tonight's episode. Now also, I think some of the acting and some of the performances, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, they're just having a great time. They're really enjoying this sitcom element. And when the script says, right, let's turn it now to a cinematic performance, they do that flawlessly. Absolutely brilliant, especially Elizabeth Olsen. But this episode tonight was about Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda, and she is pregnant, as we see in the last episode, but she is progressing very fast. She's gone through 9 months of pregnancy in 24 hours, and they don't even question really that everything has changed. Even their house has changed, but Vision throughout this episode starts to kind of second guess things that's going on, which I'll get to. But basically, she's pregnant and she's a full bump and she's ready to give birth at any moment. The doctor says you've got a healthy child there, and but the doctor also said that I won't be around for the pregnancy because I'm going on holidays with my wife. But then his car breaks down, he's unable to leave the town, and you just knew that this guy is trapped in this town, and he knows himself that, he even says at the end, it's hard to leave a small town, so these people are trapped here in a way. Some of them know they're here, some of them don't know they're here. Geraldine is a character, of course, that we'll see in Captain Marvel in the future. It looks like she's working for S.W.O.R.D. She knows she's in this world with Wanda and Vision, but she can't really dictate everything, she can't control things. She's not behind all this, that's what I don't think anyway. But also, Hydra, another ad for Hydra about soaking in the bath and escape from the drama of your life and things like that. So is Hydra the ones that are controlling Wanda right now? And it's interesting because as the show went on, Vision starts to see little signs. His neighbour Herb cuts through the fence of their property. It's that little symbolism there of they're trying to get into this kind of world that Wanda has built. Maybe their house is an area of this town that they can't get into, the Hydra can't get into, or S.W.O.R.D. can't get into, because it's so well protected by Wanda and they don't want to piss her off, So that was interesting. You also seen Catherine Hahn's Agnes there with Herb as well. Kind of Vision looks, and the two of them are debating about something quietly, and for me it looked like Agnes was saying, what are you doing, like all this, so they're very edgy around Wanda and Vision to make sure they don't piss them off, because I think Wanda is going through a descendant of madness here. I think we're just a moment from her going absolutely apeshit and causing absolute destruction, because I think she is the villain, and she will be the villain going into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3. She will be this arc that is being controlled by an evil hierarchy of power that wants to use her. Is it to create children? Do they want her powers? Do they just want her to be bad? What exactly is the purpose of this? I don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out. But as the show goes on, her bump gets a little bit bigger and she's ready to give birth, and Geraldine comes over looking for a bucket because in her house the pipes burst. But while Wanda and Vision were there as well, the pipes burst in their house, or the water broke of Wanda, and the house starts to get flooded with all this water, which was pretty interesting as well, how that would happen. And they didn't really explain how it happened, but just said that's Wanda's water breaking. But Vision runs off to get the doctor, and the doctor, of course, his car is broke down, so he can't leave the town anyway. He was never going to leave the town. But Geraldine comes over to get a bucket, talking with Wanda, and then a swark. A swark is there as well, a bird. So that's a good symbolism there. But the child's coming, the children are coming, and stuff like that. So that was interesting there. And then Geraldine is telling this story, and Wanda doesn't want her to see the swark, and then she ends up giving birth, and she gives birth to Tommy, of course, the first child, and then surprisingly another child is coming. She had twins which was Billy. And of course, Wanda herself is a twin, her and Pedro. Quicksilver from Age of Ultron, they were twins, and she lost him tragically, of course, the hands of Ultron. And even a reference to Ultron by Geraldine, which I absolutely loved, and it shows the expansion and the Easter eggs that MCU was willing to do to expand this universe. And I really like Age of Ultron, I really do. I think Ultron's a very interesting villain, a character that was underused a good bit as well, and could have been brought back for future movies. And maybe, I have a small prediction that he will appear in this show in some capacity in the coming episodes. Is Quicksilver himself going to come back as well? I don't know, but it's going to be pretty interesting. I think it will be a big loss if they don't hit those teams, but tonight they definitely hit those teams, with Geraldine dropping about, oh, Ultron is the one who killed him, right? And that she knew the minute she said that she shouldn't have, and one that kind of snaps out of this false reality of, oh, I'm a mother now and I have 2 children, and she looks at Geraldine and goes, what did you say? What did you say about Pedro? So that really sets Wanda off big time, and it showed here the dynamic of acting that Elizabeth Olsen has big time. She was able to have this sitcom-esque of acting where she's living a happy life, jokes, she's a mother now, and she's able to turn it that quickly if something happens that she does not like, and she turned into this kind of evil character that I did not recognize. It did not look like the Wanda from Endgame or Ultron and stuff. She really looked like she was on edge. We've seen her, of course, use her powers in full flow in Endgame and in Infinity War and in Civil War and movies like that, but there was something really different about how she was acting and how she looked in that scene especially. And I love the nod to Ultron, I love the nod to Pietro, to Quicksilver, and I think we'll definitely get more of them going forward. But the way that it annoyed her so much, the way it kind of snapped her out of, these kids are not right here, right now. I don't care about them. I don't care about this sitcom reality. What did you say about Pedro? And then Vision is outside and he's interacting with Herb and Catherine Hahn's character Agnes. And he knows that something's not quite up as well, you know. And then Geraldine is referenced outside. Look, she's not even from here. She doesn't even have a house. So is that symbolism here, this town that's created, that all these people live here? This is an actual town. These people are being possessed by Wanda to do exactly what she wants. Some of them know that Wanda is controlling everything. Maybe these people are members of Hydra as well. Maybe. And they know exactly what's going on. And they don't want to piss off Wanda or Vision because they don't want to meet the consequences. They are slowly but surely trying to understand what Wanda's doing and maybe try to use Wanda for their own good. So they're going with baby steps. While you have SWORD, who have implemented Geraldine into this reality, into this world, and she is going full into it, talking about Ultron, talking about Pedro, her most dark moments in her history that Wanda has gone through. And that was a big mistake already. And what does Wanda do? She throws Geraldine out of this town. It looks like it's a real town, Westview, and she throws her out. And then I love this, it turns from a 4:3 aspect ratio to a cinematic with the black bars on top and the bottom. Pretty cool, and the music kicks in as well from the monkeys, and yeah, brilliant guys, absolutely loved it. And then you got the S.H.I.E.L.D. army come in and the investigators come in surrounding Geraldine, and then you're like, yeah, this is going to kick off in the next few episodes. And when this does get full on MCU cinematic, we're in for something really special, guys. And I'm really liking how this show is taking these risks. It's doing something different. We don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm intrigued. I'm excited about what the MCU is doing. And fair play to Kevin Feige and the MCU for doing something different. They could have took the easy option with a show like this and done something like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which looks like it's going to be very MCU-esque. But they did something different, which I absolutely love. And the thing about this episode as well is Vision, who is dead. We know is dead, but is he slowly but surely coming back to life outside of this reality as well? Because he's the one who is spotting everything and there's something wrong. Or maybe it's Wanda's subconscious. Maybe Vision is Wanda's subconscious and he or she can actually see something's not quite right here. And even Vision in the house brings it up to Wanda. He goes over and sits down there beside the couch, but then it resets and he goes back to his initial first piece of dialogue. So what's going on there? Is that Wanda? Or is that Hydra looking? Or is that person, that Truman Show element of that person looking at the screen and saying, no, let's go back. We don't want to talk about that right now. So it is interesting. I'm liking how it's setting everything up for something that we don't know exactly what it is, but she has twins now, 2 sons, Billy and Tommy, which I'm going to guess that they have powers of Wanda as well. And for me personally, looking at that scene where Wanda is in the baby room and the butterflies come to life out of the butterfly toys, is that Wanda? Because she goes, I didn't mean to do that, or I didn't do that. Is that the kids? Do the kids have power? And how much power do these kids have? And is the overarch villain of this show, or all these MCU shows, that Mephisto character? Is it Agnes? And is it someone else? Or actually what their goal is to obtain Wanda's kids and use them for their own? I'm fascinated how she was 9 months pregnant within 24 hours and she gave birth to the kids. So are these kids real? Do these kids actually exist? So how does that work? And why do Hydra, or why do Sword, or why do Mephisto, why do they want these children? But it looks like to me that we'll see something from Sword in the next few episodes, looking from their point of view of what exactly is going on right now, because I just love that scene where it snapped back into our reality per se. Then you have the Sword trucks and soldiers coming in and going to Geraldine. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Guys, what did you think of this episode? I think it sets everything up really, really nicely. I'm looking forward to the coming episodes. It's great because we get to have conspiracy theories, we get to theorize, we get to talk about it. Oh, this meant this, that meant this. It's interesting, and it's something to really get your brain going and speculating and talking with people on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook about, yeah, that meant this, and this is what my theory is. So I really like those kind of shows, those kind of movies. And the thing is about that, you don't get too many shows like that, and it's actually unique that the MCU is willing to do something like this when they've had billion-dollar success after billion-dollar success, and they could just stick to the old formula and say, this is what we do, and we're not changing it. But I'm liking how much of a risk they're putting into this show, and if the payoff is as good as the setup, we're in for something pretty damn special, and I absolutely can't wait for the coming episodes. But guys, did you like WandaVision Episode 3, now in colour? What did you think of it? What do you think of this show overall? Are you interested, or is it just passing you by like you don't really like it? Now, I will admit the first probably 10, maybe 12 minutes of this episode, I was like, yeah, where are they going here? Some of the jokes were funny, some of them weren't. It had that sitcom element. I was like this, kind of looking at it, but then it's a slow burn, this show. I like slow burns, but it's slowly got into it. In the last 10 minutes for me, with the reference to Ultron, Pietro, Wanda going a little bit crazy, and Geraldine being jumped out of this world, it really made the episode for me. But definitely the best of the three, and then the music kicking in. But guys, give a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm really, really interested. Can't wait for next week's episode. I wish I could watch them all now, but patience. And hopefully the payoff is pretty good. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and do something that makes you happy. That's all we want to be, is happy in this world. See you then, guys.